Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 513 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. I know it's April Fool's Day, and there are some April Fool things in here, maybe just like one. But I promise you, the rest is real, even this one. ComingSoon.net reporting that Shazam 2 is reportedly set to film later this year. And this is all coming from an interview that David Sandberg did before his quarantine watch party, which I didn't get to attend, but I heard it was pretty cool. Of Shazam. Him and the cast watched Shazam together with the rest of the world, whoever was available to watch along, and he had a lot of inside information about that. But before this time, he revealed a few things about his Shazam 2 production. Well, we'll see how long this goes, because we were going to start shooting this year, Sandberg told comicbook.com, but who knows how long this will go on. It feels like every movie gets delayed now, so we'll see what happens with Shazam. But so far, I've been working on the script. We can still do that, so that's being done, and then we'll just see in a couple of months how it looks, Some of the time has been watching movies, Sandberg says. We have a little bit of work that we can do remotely. We have meetings via Zoom. I've never heard of that app before this happened, and now it's all Zoom. Kind of me too. I just had one. It's not too weird for us. We're indoors a bit more. I'm sitting down and learning new software and doing little tests, things like that. So that's what he revealed before his quarantine watch party. And like I said, his quarantine watch party up here was fun, and he'll see them next time. Which I just wanted to highlight this cool looking. It's just a shot, but it would have been a cool poster, I think, for like Shazam 2 or something. Very reminiscent of like Superman. In the hiding in the dark, not like a child's movie, and this is a really cool poster. Like, it would be a really cool poster if this was a poster. I'm not sure. I just wanted to say that is pretty good for a reveal. This should have been the reveal before we saw him on the behind-the-scenes shoots and things like that. But anyway, so Shazam 2 looks like still going on, but amidst all this COVID-19 things, we're not really sure, right? Now, there was something very interesting that came out through WarnerMedia, and this is WarnerMedia announces Jason Kilar as new CEO effective May 1st. Okay, I don't know if I've said that right, but Jason Kilar is a new CEO. Let's go to the press release. WarnerMedia, New York, April 1st. I know it's called April 1st, but this is real. Media, Entertainment, and Technology Executive Jason Kilar has been named CEO of WarnerMedia effective May 1st. He will report to John Stankey, AT&T's president and chief operating officer. Kilar previously was the founding CEO of Hulu and SVP at Amazon. Jason is a dynamic executive with the right skill set to lead WarnerMedia into the future. His experience in media and entertainment, direct-to-consumer video streaming, and advertising is the perfect fit for WarnerMedia, and I'm excited to have him lead the next chapter of WarnerMedia's storied success, said Stankey. Our team, led by Bob Greenblatt and Sarnoff, Gerard Zahler, and Jeff Zucker, has done an amazing job establishing our brands as leaders in the hearts and minds of consumers. Adding Jason to the talented WarnerMedia family as we launch HBOMax in May gives us the right management team to strategically position our leading portfolio of brands, world-class talent, and rich library of intellectual property for future growth. In partnership with this world-class team, I'm so excited for the opportunity to lean into the future at WarnerMedia, said Kilar. Stories well told have always mattered, and they matter even more in this challenging time for the world. It will be a privilege to invent, create, and serve with so many talented people. May 1st can't get here soon enough. So that's coming from WarnerMedia themselves, as Variety also reported this as well. and and coming into a time where they emphasize once more that HBO Max is coming out in May. That is, they're still holding on to that, and I think they should. I thought they were gonna make it release even earlier in April, but maybe there's some things, chips that need to come together in order to make that happen. Because amidst this COVID-19 pandemic, this coronavirus thing, it is the time really to get streaming services up and running and streaming shows and things like that announced and put out, right? But it did confuse to some insiders, I guess. WarnerMedia insiders said new CEO Jason Kilar brings digital chops but arrives at an odd time. So to some people, to some execs, it is an odd time. I think people are looking at the timing odd, the exec said. They'd said they weren't doing this right now. The same exec pointed out that Kilar does not officially start his new role until May. Potentially awkward timing, as that's the same month that the company plans to launch HBOMax, meaning Kilar won't have any ability to shape the product pre-launch. And although AT&T is sticking with its May target for the service, Kilar will have to deal with all of the complications of launching a new product amid the unprecedented disruption being caused by the coronavirus pandemic. The exec also likened the Kilar hire to that of Ann Sarnoff, who emerged from outside the circle of rumored contenders last year to be named head of Warner Brothers and has since emerged as a well-liked leader for the studio. Well, that's interesting. And who will report to Kilar. They also know that although Kilar won't have the ability to shape HBO Max pre-launch, he will be positioned to develop and implement an ad-supported version of the service that Stankey has said will be critical to the long-term success of the product, but has not yet been developed. Overall, they said internal reaction to Kilar has been largely neutral, neither strongly negative nor strongly positive, and though the exec is unknown to many inside the company, those who do know him tend to speak well of him. And that's good, because I get they're probably don't know who he is, don't have anything to say because they don't know who he is. He's not part of the inner circle. He's from the outside. But for people who know him, seem to speak well of him, which could be a good thing. A source inside Warner Brothers told Variety that everyone at the studio is hyper aware of the importance of HBO Max to the future of WarnerMedia, and thus unsurprised that AT&T turned to an exec well versed in building digital media platforms. The same source added, however, that Kilar's lack of creative experience developing film or television has not gone unnoticed by studio personnel. But another Warner Brothers source who worked in the past with Kilar insisted that the new chief exec has a better understanding of the creative business of film and television than many who don't know him well might realize. Both Warner Brothers sources said that it was unlikely that leaders inside the studio would bristle at the hire of Kilar, who is not seen as someone expected to meddle in creative decision. Not seen as someone expected to meddle in creative decisions. That's good. That's what we want. We don't want these people meddling in creative decisions, right? We don't want that at all. So I view this as a very cool thing indeed. Now, how does this matter to possibly DC? Well, for DC, it says right there, he won't meddle in creative decision, possibly. He doesn't seem like the one. So, and he doesn't have that creative experience in developing film or television, meaning he'll rely heavily on the directors and the producers, the actual creative teams that are making these projects. So they'll be pitching it to him, and they'll be like, great. Whatever you need to do, make that happen. We just need content on this platform. Let's do it. He's good at he's adversed in Hulu, and Hulu has a lot of original content on there. There's quite a bit, and they know things about content and getting more content. I mean, they saved Brooklyn Nine-Nine, right? So they're well versed in trying to get more stuff on their platform. And if this guy is versed in that already, that could be good for a lot of creative teams that want to make original things that that most people, maybe Warner Brothers themselves, don't want to even put out in theaters. You know what I'm saying? So I think this could be really good. But how good, right? You're wondering how good. Well, before we get into that, it is time for the Zack Snyder's Justice League fan poster pick for the day. Today, I'm picking this one. Now, you may be confused because usually I put one right here. I put up the Boss Logic one just to... So it could be, I feel like it could be a little bit of like a surprise. You don't know what I'm picking. And maybe that's just me trying to be fun. But I decided to pick this one, 921, Dustin Lee Massey or Samuel Kentman. I guess both of them. Dustin Massey 101 or at Samuel Kentman. Instagram Dustin Lee Massey. This is crazy artwork right here. This look is awesome. Not only does it show a bit of Man of Steel, it's got BVS and it's got Justice League in there, but the artwork, it looks very godlike, and it has all the feel of Justice League. All the gods, heavens and hells are within you, and I thought this was a really, really great looking piece. This looks like an oil painting that should be on a wall. And I hope people take this time and opportunity to reach out to these people if you want to get an oil painting for this. I don't know if you can. I don't know if they're offering that, but or at least a high digital render of this this massive thing here that has even Darkseid and the OG Steppenwolf, I might add, in here as well. So this is amazing. Great job. Fantastic job, Dustin and Samuel. This is an amazing piece of artwork. And, my pick for today for Zack Snyder's Justice League fan poster. All right. Well, since we're on Justice League and possibly the release of the Snyder Cut, let's turn back a little bit because, I just talked about how this guy right here, where is he? Jason Kilar is a new CEO. Well, he did something that was really interesting, and Jeffrey Robertson actually highlighted what happened today, right? So this is what happened today. Now, he did like Film Exiles podcast, but they didn't really reveal anything in here that pertained too much to the Snyder Cut until this happened. Abu Bakr tweeted out, replied to that WarnerMedia group, said, "Hey, Jason Kilar, congratulations. Now release the Snyder Cut," and had a picture of Zack Snyder's Justice League right there. And who liked it? Jason Kilar liked it. Jason Kilar, the new CEO, liked it. John Aaron Garza had said a big congratulations to at Jason Kilar on the new WarnerMedia promotion. I think he knows what he's doing, highlighting that Jason Kilar liked the post in regards to the Snyder Cut, and Jason Kilar liked this tweet as well. Whoa! That's interesting. An actual CEO. Now, he's not starting until May, but, they say that, right? A lot of times these big companies, they say they're not starting, but they're already there because they have to go through the training process and stuff. But, we'll see. WarnerMedia Group. Jason Kilar, the new CEO, the one who's heading up this whole HBOMax thing, he is liking stuff, liking Snyder Cut stuff. Like, maybe this is our first possible reported Warner exec, AT&T exec, that is actively on social media liking posts about the Snyder Cut. I could see maybe he accidentally liked maybe one of these. Well, like maybe this, but it's there, and it's in pertain to this, which actually shows release of Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's amazing. That's amazing. What does that mean? I have no idea. Is it a mistake? I don't know. Not sure. But it is. I'm thinking they're not that, accidental, right? He can't be that accidental that he's not aware that he's done that. And he's grown quite a bit of followers today, great hire and everything. Let's see if the likes are still there. The likes are still there. Big congratulations to Jason Kilar. Release the Snyder Cut right there. So this is a real thing. This actually happened. this man right here, Jason Kilar, just liked a Snyder Cut post. Amazing, amazing. Follow this guy. Ask him nicely. Hopefully you're gonna help us out and help us release a Snyder Cut on WarnerMedia Group. I've already done that, so let's see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens coming May, right? Coming May. Let's see if there's any more from this. Now, here is an April Fool's post, right? HBOMax at HBOMax official, not official. The HBOMax official HBOMax Twitter account is just simply at HBOMax. So do not be fooled. There are a lot of people fooled right now. By the time when I took this picture, it was at 3,400. Now we're over at 6,000 likes, right? And it just shows you how much of a like a lot of people like. There's like it's people believe in that, to the point that even some celebrities, Leigh Whannell, the director of Invisible Man, said, "Is this real?" And he was kind of wanting it. Kumail tweeted and following, and then James Gunn as well. Yeah, sure, their tweets and replies sometimes mean nothing, and I think some of them even deleted it. But at least it kind of shows you a little bit of how it's so involved in pop culture now. Release of Snyder Cut has become, like what Grace Randolph says, legendary. It is in the mainstream. Things like this fake tweet, right, had caught the attention of over 6,000 likes. And you know what? Let's look at it. Let's look at it, right? So you see this tweet. It's got lots of comments on it, 1.4K retweets, 6.2K likes so far. It has kind of really blown up, right? Really blown up, and I'm sure when you look into a little bit further into it, you can see how many impressions it made. But it definitely went out there, and it definitely showed a little more of the excitement people had for it, outside the movement as well, including some, other directors and even a comedian as well. So the power of the Snyder Cut is immense and tremendous, and no doubt that I no doubt believe it is definitely coming out. Announcement should be forthcoming. I'm just hoping that when HBO Max releases in May, that it's actually part of like an announcement title launch announcement, not the actual release yet, because we know Zack Snyder has to work on it, and it has to finish that up. So the release may be later because of the COVID-19, but an announcement, I hope, is forthcoming during this time. And that leads me to a video I want you guys to check out. Now, this is from Instagram, but I'll link to the video in the description below. Lightcast Podcast had done an interview with the actual team over at the Cultured Nerds. Right? The gentleman's name is Taylor Murphy. He's a source. He has sources close to the entertainment website, and he is the one that runs the Cultured Nerd, the one that had the article the other day that Justice League is coming, but the COVID-19 has delayed it. Now, this is a 2.5-hour podcast, but it's really good. Just leave it on while you're doing something else. Lots of great information within this. What appears to be Taylor Murphy is saying that he has a family member who works at Warner Brothers. That's all he's going to reveal, and that source has told us everything that we've kind of know so far, that Zack Snyder, at least know within our community, that Zack Snyder was in negotiations with Warner Brothers, that November 17 was a huge deal. That's because he met up with Warner Brothers. But it's cool because Taylor does reveal things like reading the Justice League script beforehand, knowing about Martian Manhunter, knew that Silas Stone died, and all these different things that they chose not to reveal, but he knew about it, and you can believe it or not. It's up to you. But it does sound legitimately real. And for him to say that is indeed there, like Warner Brothers actually was thinking about releasing 100% the actual cut as is, right? As is, unfinished, straight to HBO Max to appease us fans. Says, here you go, get out of here, beat it. But Zack Snyder refused. Zack Snyder says, no. If I'm gonna have my Justice League coming out, it's gonna come out the way I want it to, the way the fans deserve. They should be rewarded. I love that it's in his court now. He's like, no, I'm gonna make this the way I want the fans to see it, right? Because he's doing it essentially for us, and I love that. I love that they're working through it. Of course, there is some, things in there that you kind of like. I don't say lose hope, but kind of think about because of this whole COVID-19 that things like that could delay in terms of conversation and money. But don't let them get that to you. I'm still 100% positive. They're definitely going to try to get this out on streaming services as the streaming services are trying to boost right up. Hopefully one day when people are realizing that it's safe to go back to theaters and theaters or the world is safer for theaters to reopen, that we can actually watch this in theaters. But check out this interview. Any case, it's a great listen, great 2.5 hour, very good. I highly recommend it, and then go check it out immediately. So Lightcast Podcast interviewed with Taylor Murphy from The Culture Nerd, with saying the source is a Warner Brothers source. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And during this time when we're just kind of sheltered, quarantine, you might as well listen to something that's like over 2.5 hours, right? I mean, we're going to watch a 3.5 hour Justice League movie. You probably could, listen to a 2.5 hour podcast. Almost everything is about Zack Snyder's Justice League, and some funny things for the Justice League as well. So interesting stuff, good stuff. Check it out, and that is it. That is it for now. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.